Have you ever wondered why the Prince of Darkness would fight for a corpse? What mystery could be so powerful, so forbidden, that even Lucifer would stand face to face with an archangel, challenging heaven itself for the body of a man? On a lonely mountain, where dawn breaks over silent rocks, where the wind whispers secrets only angels hear, something happened that shook both heaven and hell. The earth held its breath, and the sky seemed to wait. Tonight, we step into a story so rare, so hidden, that most people have never heard it told in full. It's a tale captured in just one cryptic line of scripture. But its echo resounds through every soul, searching for meaning, for hope, for legacy. To understand what truly happened that day, we must leave behind everything we think we know. We must cross the boundary between the seen and the unseen, step deep into the ancient world, and open our minds to a spiritual mystery that has baffled scholars for centuries. Picture yourself on Mount Nebo. Feel the hush before sunrise, the mingling of light and shadow on ancient stones, as if all creation pauses for a moment outside of time. You are not just an observer. Tonight, you are a witness. So I invite you, are you ready to see the story beneath the story? To discover why heaven sent its mightiest warrior and what the darkness truly feared. If this journey moves you, remember to like this video, subscribe to the Prophecy Vault, and share your own thoughts or spiritual experiences below. This story isn't just for the past. It's an invitation for you right now. Let's begin. If you knew your legacy could shape history, what would you want written in the end? Imagine the chill of dawn high on the lonely ridges of Mount Nebo. The world below is quiet, washed in the silver mist of early morning. There, standing barefoot on rough stones, Moses gazes out at the promised land. His hair is white as desert clouds. His robe is worn from years in the wilderness. His face, creased by laughter and heartbreak, is turned to the horizon. He stands on the edge of destiny, 40 years of hope, loss, and faith now behind him. He's tasted the sweetness of miracles and the bitterness of rebellion. He's seen seas parted and manna fall. He's listened to the voice of God, thunder from the smoke on Sinai. Yet in this final moment, Moses stands utterly alone. No crowd to cheer his name, no family gathered by his side. Just the hush of wind, the dry earth beneath his feet, and the last great view he will ever see. Scripture says, his eye was not dim, nor his natural strength abated. 34:7. He wasn't dying of weakness. He was being called home, not by disease, not by time, but by the voice of eternity itself. As Moses takes his final breath, he is not laid to rest by trembling human hands. No priest to perform the rites, no children to whisper prayers. Instead, the earth itself seems to bow. It's written in Deuteronomy 34:6, God himself buried him, and no one, not then, not now, knows where that grave lies. Picture that for a moment. The world's greatest prophet, the lawgiver, the friend of God, laid to rest not with a monument, but in secret by the hand of the divine. No shrine, no funeral, no place for pilgrims. Only the hush of mystery and the weight of legacy. Why? Why such secrecy, such intentional silence around a grave? Because Moses' story was never meant to become an idol, a relic for the world to worship. His legacy was never about a monument on a mountain, but a message carried forward in faith. Think of all the great leaders history remembers. Abraham Lincoln rests beneath a towering memorial. Nelson Mandela's memory is honored in every corner of South Africa. Their legacies are immortalized in stone and story. But Moses? He was claimed by God alone. His legacy does not belong to kings or empires. It belongs to eternity. Even in death, Moses' life echoes through time. His name lives wherever there's courage to confront pharaohs or hope for a promised land. He's a symbol that our greatest failures do not erase our deepest calling. Feel the wind shift now. Imagine standing where Moses stood, sensing both the privilege and the burden of destiny. He knew his story would be told, but never where he would be found. Because Moses' legacy was never about his location. It was about his obedience, his willingness to serve, to lead, to sacrifice, even when the journey ended just short of his dream. And so, as the earth closes quietly over the body of Moses, a question rises from the dust. What makes a legacy? Is it the monuments we leave behind? Or the impact of a life wholly surrendered to a higher call? When the dust settles, what do you want your legacy to say about you? Is it written in titles and possessions, or in the stories of lives you've touched, the hope you've inspired, the faith you kept alive against the odds? Some say legacy is about fame. But Moses teaches us that true legacy, divine ownership, is found in letting your story be written by God, even when no one is watching, even when the world forgets your name. It's a legacy that lasts not for a generation, but for eternity. As the sun climbs higher, a breeze stirs the dust atop Nebo. Shadows lengthen. Somewhere in that silence, a darker presence senses the weight of what's just happened. Because a story this powerful, a legacy so fiercely guarded, will never go uncontested for long. The world shifts. The wind grows colder. The mystery deepens. And somewhere between heaven and earth, a battle for that legacy is about to begin. So I ask you once more, when the final chapter is written, what do you want your legacy to say? When the dust settles, let's follow the story as the darkness draws near. What if your greatest battle begins after you're gone? The earth is silent. Clouds hang low over the valley of Moab. A hush falls across the stones, and shadows slither along the ground like secrets no one dares to speak. Somewhere beneath that cold surface, the body of Moses lies hidden, a legacy not marked by any human hand, but sealed by the breath of God himself. But tonight, something ancient stirs. The silence isn't just emptiness. It's a waiting, a pause before a storm. In the darkness, a presence emerges. Lucifer, the fallen morning star, moves across the valley. His form majestic, cloaked in a beauty twisted by pride, a shadow once made of light. The wind shivers as he passes. The ground recoils beneath his feet. His eyes, full of fire and emptiness, are fixed on the secret grave. He is not here to mourn. He is here to claim. He stretches out a hand, fingers curling with ancient hunger, and the world seems to hold its breath. No human dares to watch, but all creation feels the weight. Suddenly, a different radiance bursts onto the scene. Not the false, cold light of Lucifer, but a blazing righteous brilliance. Michael, the archangel, warrior of heaven, arrives in a cascade of celestial fire. His armor shines like sunrise on the sea. His eyes carry the calm of countless battles fought in the name of truth. He lands between the grave and the adversary. His wings spread wide, casting long shadows against the trembling earth. For a heartbeat, two powers face each other, light against darkness, eternity against envy. Lucifer's lips curl in a sneer. He speaks, his voice velvet and venom. He failed. He belongs to me. Michael stands silent for a moment, his face unshaken, his grip steady. Then, with a voice like thunder wrapped in mercy, he replies, "The Lord rebuke you." Jude 1:9. The valley echoes with the authority of words that carry not Michael's power, but God's own decree. There is no argument, no contest of strength or cunning. There's only the raw, quiet force of divine ownership. Lucifer recoils. He feels not the heat of a blade, but the cold, final barrier of authority he cannot cross. The grave is not his to touch. The story is not his to rewrite. For a moment, a heavy silence settles, thicker than darkness, deeper than doubt. It's not just about the bones beneath the soil. It's about the power of legacy, the authority of destiny, the reality that even the Prince of Darkness cannot claim what God has sealed. Picture this clash. It is not a sword fight, but a courtroom. Not a battle of muscle, but of mandate. Think of moments in history. The Rosetta Stone, the treasures of Tutankhamun, the torn-down statues in times of revolution. Legacies fought over, stolen, or desperately protected. But Moses' legacy is unique. Not kept in glass, not guarded by armies, but watched over by heaven itself. This is the real spiritual war. Not just for bodies, but for meaning, for memory, for the future that flows from a life surrendered to God.
Lucifer isn't just trying to desecrate a prophet.
He wants to twist Moses' story, turn reverence into idolatry, memory into obsession, grace into a weapon. If he could possess what God buried, he could poison hope, sabotage faith, and claim victory over a destiny not his own. But Michael knows his role. He does not argue theology. He does not rely on his own authority. He invokes the name above every name. The Lord rebuke you. In that instant, all the accusations, all the pride, all the ancient grudges collapse in silence. Lucifer has no answer. He cannot contest the decree. He fades, his presence dissolving like mist at dawn. And as the first rays of sunlight break over Mount Nebo, only Michael remains, standing as guardian over what God has claimed. The story lingers, echoing through centuries. Daniel saw Michael fight for the people of Israel, Daniel 10:20. John in Revelation witnessed Michael lead the armies of heaven against the dragon himself, Revelation 12:7-9. Michael is always the defender, the shield between hope and ruin, the proof that authority from God trumps any power of darkness. Pause here. Let this scene breathe. It's more than myth. It's a warning and a promise. Because the battle for Moses' body is the battle for every legacy ever written by faith, ever threatened by fear, ever caught in the crossfire of good and evil. Have you ever felt like someone tried to steal your hope? Like your story, your hard-won victories might be twisted or erased by voices of accusation even after you thought your journey was done? We all know what it's like to face forces that want to claim our past, poison our memory, or rewrite what we fought so hard to become. But remember Michael's answer, not an argument, not a desperate defense, but a declaration of higher authority. The Lord rebuke you. That's how spiritual battles are won. Not by your own cleverness, not by shouting louder, but by standing on what God has already decreed about your life. Think about this. All around us, legacies are contested. History is written and rewritten. Monuments are toppled. Names are cleared or condemned. But the legacy God claimed is one no power on earth or hell can steal or corrupt. Let this scene settle into your spirit. The thunder fades, the shadows withdraw, and Michael stands guard over a story still being told. If you could see the spiritual battle for your own legacy, how would you live today? Would you guard your heart, your hope, your destiny with a courage that stands firm in the face of accusation? Or would you surrender your story to voices that never owned it? As the sun rises behind Michael and the last trace of darkness slips away, the lesson is clear. You are not alone in your battles. Your legacy is not unprotected. Even after your journey seems finished, heaven stands guard. Let's move deeper into the mystery, to see what else the darkness may try and what hope is waiting on the other side. Who owns your story when you're gone? Whose hands will hold the meaning of your life when the last chapter has closed and your voice has faded from the room? Picture this. A young man stands beneath an old oak tree in the morning mist. He holds a faded photograph, his grandfather, maybe his mother, someone whose story echoes in his own heart. The cemetery is silent, but inside him 1,000 questions swirl. What does it mean to belong? What does it mean to leave something behind that matters? In a world that moves so fast, that forgets so easily, what legacy will outlast the noise? He kneels by the grave, fingers tracing the name etched in stone, wondering if anyone will ever remember his story. The wind moves softly, carrying the laughter, the prayers, the quiet moments that never made it to history books. But what if that story, so ordinary, so fragile, was guarded by something eternal? What if, in the places no one sees, there's an angel standing watch over your life, just as Michael watched over Moses? Think about it. For Moses, there was no marble tomb, no epic statue, no crowd to mourn him. God himself claimed that story. God himself sent Michael to protect it what the world could not understand. Maybe you've never seen an angel, but have you ever felt a hand steadying you, a whisper of hope when you were at your lowest? Maybe you felt it during a hospital vigil, or a sleepless night, or when you walked away from everything you thought you were and started again. Legacy is more than a name in stone. It is faith kept alive in the dark, love given without guarantee, courage found when no one else believed. Let's step into a modern story. There's a young woman lost in the chaos of a city that never sleeps. Her family lost everything in a disaster. A hurricane, a fire, an act of violence. She stands in a shelter, holding tight to the memory of her grandmother's prayers, the wisdom passed down in lullabies, the faith that says, no matter what happens, God sees you. God is not finished with your story. In moments like these, legacy isn't a luxury for the rich or the famous. It's a promise that what you carry, your faith, your values, your love, can be guarded, can be redeemed, even when you feel invisible. It's easy to believe you're alone, that your battles are only yours. But Moses never saw the war over his body. He never saw Michael descend like lightning or Lucifer recoil in defeat. Yet the battle was real. God fought for him even after he was gone. If God would send an angel for Moses, he will not forget you. He will not let your legacy be stolen, your story erased, your hope turned to dust. There are places in your life, old journals, unspoken prayers, small kindnesses you thought went unseen, where God is still fighting for you. And sometimes, when the weight of the world is heavy, when the voice of the enemy tries to rewrite your worth, all you have to do is remember who owns your story. You don't have to protect it alone. Your legacy, spiritual, emotional, even physical, belongs first to God. Let that truth settle deep. Let it change how you live. Because if you could see the angel guarding your legacy, how would you spend your days? Would you love more fearlessly, give more generously, forgive more easily? What legacy do you hope to leave behind? Is it money or meaning? Power or peace? A story about what you built for yourself or what you built for others. In the world today, stories are often lost, flooded by new headlines, buried by new trends. But the story God writes is never forgotten. You are more than your failures. You are more than the limits set by others. You are the living echo of generations and the seed of generations yet to come. Remember, your story is guarded, your hope is defended, your legacy is seen even when no one else is watching. So next time you feel small or invisible or unworthy, picture that guardian standing watch over your life, the same way Michael stood over Moses. Breathe. Let hope take root again. And as we leave the hush of ancient graves, see the sun warming the earth, see wild flowers pushing through where Moses sleeps. Life, hope, legacy, all rising from sacred ground. Let's carry that truth forward as we move to the next part of the story. The battle for Moses' body isn't just an ancient mystery. It's a living reminder that your life, your legacy, and your worth are so precious that even darkness wants to claim them. But in the end, God always has the final say. Long after the world has forgotten your name, long after the dust has settled over the memories you leave behind, there is a truth deeper than any shadow, a voice greater than any accusation. You are not just a story waiting to be lost. You are a light that can outlast the night. The God who sent Michael to defend Moses is the same God who sees you, who claims you, who calls your story sacred, no matter where you are in the journey. So let me ask you, when the final chapter is written, will your story belong to the darkness, or will it shine for generations to come? What do you believe is worth fighting for? Even beyond your own lifetime? Maybe it's hope. Maybe it's truth. Maybe it's the simple act of loving well in a world that forgets how. If this story awakens something in you, if you feel the echo of eternity in your bones, please like and share this video so the message can reach someone who needs it today. Tell us in the comments, what do you want your legacy to be? Have you fought a battle for hope, for faith, for family? We want to hear your story. And don't forget to subscribe for more Bible mysteries, spiritual journeys, and cinematic storytelling from the Prophecy Vault. Because in the end, your story is not just yours. It is a light handed down, a spark meant to outlive you, a promise that even after the darkness tries to claim you, God's love is always stronger. Until next time, keep your hope alive, stand guard over your legacy, and let your light shine, for you are never forgotten